Hi, Paul here from Trekit, and we're upstairs in the Hereford shop today to talk to you about the Accu Selvatica GTX Tactical Mid. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But it kind of explains what it is. The Selvatica is the model name. GTX tells us that it's got a full gore-tex membrane lining. Mid, it's a mid-height boot, not full height, not a shoe, sits in between. And tactical, it's part of Accu's new tactical range. Now here at Trekit, we are very proud of the fact that we helped to instigate the whole Accu tactical range with the development of the Accu Pilgrim boots, developed in conjunction with Accu and Trekit. So it's really good to see them developing further models for their tactical range. So what is it? Well, like I said, it's a super lightweight, very supportive and stable, waterproof and highly breathable boot, suitable for sort of light and fast tactical duties. But don't let the tactical thing put you off if that's not your thing. This is a boot that's equally suitable for fast and light hill use, mountain activities where you want something lightweight, supportive, waterproof and highly breathable. So a really versatile boot that, like I said, was designed to be part of their tactical range, but works just as well for us civvies. So what is the Selvatica GTX Tactical Mid made from? Can I just call it the Selvatica, Harry? It's just so much easier. I'll just call it the Selvatica. Anyway, so what's the Selvatica made from? Well, on the upper, this is where the clever stuff comes in. Accu have used their super tough nylon fabric upper with their Air 8000 technology. Now, Air 8000 technology claims to improve the breathability of Gore-Tex footwear by about 11 times greater than traditionally constructed Gore-Tex boots. And Accu cleverly do this by using a dot matrix glue to bond the membrane to the in between the inner and the outer. Traditionally, a whole layer of glue would be smeared over the membrane, stuck together in a laminate construction to create a waterproof fabric. But because the glue is in that dot matrix pattern, there's gaps between it, which increases the breathability. It's a very simple solution to a perennial problem. So these boots, you can use them in warm, humid conditions. They do breathe a lot better than traditional Gore-Tex boots. We often hear that guys really just don't want Gore-Tex footwear for tactical use, just because if water gets in, it takes a long time to get back out. They dry, take longer to dry, and the breathability is impaired. But with the Air 8000, that solves most of those problems. And it does give you that guaranteed waterproof construction. Also, on the outside of the boot, you can see you've got this slightly darker colour here, and Accu call this their dynamic frame, and rather helpfully they write it on the outside so people like me can remember when we're doing the videos. Dynamic frame. So what that does is it adds extra stability to the boot. You've got these load-bearing ribs running up and down the side here, which act in conjunction with the laces to lock your foot into place in the boot, giving extra support and stability, but adding absolute minimal weight. And rather than traditionally stitching those into place, there's a PU overlay which holds those ribs in place without adding extra stitching, which is extra wear points or extra weight or potential failure points as well. So a really tightly constructed boot with some modern technology, the Air 8000 for extra breathability, and then you've got this extra durable kind of ballistic nylon fabric as well, all adding up to a really tough boot. And then just as a little bit of an extra around the toe area here, you've got a little rubber bumper just to protect from knocks and scrapes, or if you're kneeling down in prone position, just to protect that toe area from wear and tear. Up around the top here, around the ankle, you've got a high wicking fabric up above the Gore-Tex waterproof line, just to add that extra comfort around the contact area. And the inside of the tongue uses a really nice micro suede, so really soft and comfortable against that kind of quite sensitive area of your foot around the front of the ankle. So a really well thought out and put together upper on this boot. Okay, so the lining, the bit in between, well, we talked about that. That's the Gore-Tex lining using that Air 8000 technology. So you get a full Gore membrane bootie inside the boot. And then the footbed itself, this is a really nicely shaped ortholite. You can see you've got quite a good arch support in here, and it's a soft foam with a wicking top sheet, again to keep that comfort and help with that quick drying. A lightweight foam so it doesn't absorb a lot of moisture should you fill the boots up. So a good, better than your average footbed inside the boot. Okay, so let's talk about the midsole. I've just taken the footbed out just so I can just demonstrate this a little better. The midsole sits between the footbed and the outer sole, a bit on the bottom which makes contact with the ground. And the midsole generally will provide kind of the stability, the strength, the structure of the boot, and will determine how much flex the boot has got, and ensures that when the boot does flex, it flexes in a natural curve position rather than just folding up on itself. So Accu have used a 2mm polyprop nylon shank sort of going through the boot, but that's also incorporated their IMS2 system. So IMS is a system developed by Accu to reduce foot fatigue and increase stability. So on top of that nylon board, rather than the footbed just sitting on top of the nylon board in the boot, you get an extra layer of foam for cushioning, and it helps to reduce impact forces and increase comfort, making the boot feel a lot more stable and a lot more comfortable over longer distances. And also running in alongside the midsole is this layer of PU, which is designed again to add extra cushioning and comfort, thicker around the heel area where you get that heel strike, and then plenty of cushioning under the ball of the foot for rolling through. So really supportive, proper midsole. The boot doesn't fold up on itself, provides strength and security and support. And then you've got that IMS system for additional comfort and support inside the boot. Excuse me. And then the PU running through there as well for extra cushioning. So making for a really a sort of comfortable boot, but still really stable. You've got good close contact with the ground, so if you're moving around, changing direction quickly, it doesn't feel like you're wallowing around on a load of old marshmallows. It's still got that good stability and structure that you'd expect from a boot designed for tactical use. Right, let's move on to the sole unit, the bit at the bottom, the important bit, the grippy bit that makes contact with the ground. Normally you'd see a big gold octagon on the bottom of here with a Vibram logo on it, but because these are tactical, you've got a very subtle tonal Vibram logo, so you can be reassured this is a good quality sole unit. And not only is it Vibram, it's Vibram Megagrip. Clues in the name, it's really grippy. It grips on wet and dry surfaces equally well, hot and cold. It provides superb traction, but also excellent longevity. So it's a really good sole unit. We're seeing a lot of these Megagrip sole units being used across a wide range of mountaineering and tactical boots, just because it works across most surfaces. And Accu have also incorporated what they call their Elica natural stride system into this boot. If you can see from here the way that the lugs are patterned, you've got these heavier lugs on the outside of the heel where the heel would normally and naturally impact on a normally pronating foot, on the outside of the heel, and then rolling through to the takeoff area around the big toe here. So you've got these more aggressive, wider space lugs, so you get good control at the heel strike, less impact shock, but good control. And then you get a natural roll through to the big toe area where you get extra wide lugs for propulsion for that push-off phase of the gait. And then the additional lugs on the outside of the area are smaller, a bit more openly spaced so they don't clog up, and then to allow that extra grip if you're moving across, if you're contouring across, or for lateral support. So you get that really nice outside of the heel, through to the big toe, natural stride. Helps also to reduce fatigue because you're not fighting against the lug pattern every time you take a stride, and just helps with kind of the natural gait movement of the foot for control and stability. Features wise, well, with most footwear the features are all about the construction. We've talked about the dynamic frame, we've talked about IMS, we've talked about Air 8000. Those are really the key features of this lightweight tactical boot. But just to point out a couple of other things to keep the weight down, Accu have used very strong, hard-wearing but lightweight nylon lace loops throughout. Just makes lacing the boot nice and simple and easy. Then up at the top, you've got one metal eyelet at the top here, just for extra security on that area where you're likely to just give it a little bit more oomph when you're lacing them up. You've got a nice lightweight bellows tongue, full bellows fabric right the way through to the toe. And then you've got dual loops here for easy on and off. So you've got a loop at the back, loop on the tongue, just make it easy, open the boot up, shove your foot in, lace it up, and away you go. And to be honest, that's pretty much it for features. Like I said, most of the key elements of this boot are in the construction. Here at Trek It, one of the first things you'll notice when you walk through the door at the Hereford shop, on the right hand side is our mighty wall of footwear. We specialise here at the shop in particular in making sure we suit the model and select the model to match your feet. So we'll give you a full foot assessment, we'll take a full measurement, probably the first time you've had your feet measured since you went into a Clark shop when you were getting your school shoes. So we'll give you a full professional boot fit. Now we appreciate that not everyone can get to our little shop in Hereford, so we offer the same range online, and Harry will put a link up so you can have a look at the range. And we also appreciate that not everyone can get to the shop and experience one of our professional boot fits. So we've produced a video on our YouTube channel just giving you some help, some tips and advice to make sure you get that fit as close as possible before you make your purchase online. So go and have a browse, have a look at the footwear range, but even better, come and visit us here in Hereford and experience our boot fitting and our boot range for yourself. So how does the Selvatica fit? Well, I can't tell you how it fits you because I haven't got your feet here, but I can tell you how it fits me because I've got my feet here, and I've tried these on in a size 9. I am normally a size 9 pretty much in most footwear, and I tried these on in a UK 9 or an EU 43, and to be honest, the fit was absolutely bang on. There was a nice amount of space at my toes, so I was not going to bash my toes coming downhill. It was a nice roomy toe box. I could wiggle my toes around quite nicely. I've got a reasonably wide foot. I'm about an E to F width fitting, and these fitted me lovely. There was no pressure across the width of the foot. If you did have a phenomenally wider foot than that, you might want to have a look at an alternative pair, maybe look at the Midsole Comfort Fit range, or for tactical boots, have a look at the Pilgrims because they do come up a little bit wider. But generally the fit is very easy, it's very comfortable, very good heel grip, nice and tight around the heel, so plenty of contact there, and just a nice easy fit. I do appreciate it's very difficult, particularly if you're buying footwear online, to get the fit absolutely bang on. But if you want to get some tips and advice on how to sort of, work out the best way to find out your size, Harry will put a link up to our footwear fitting guide at the end of this video. Or alternatively, ideally come to the Hereford shop and experience one of our pro boot fits, and we'll measure your foot and we'll make sure we get the boots to fit you properly. So to summarise, the Aku Selvatica GTX Mid Tactical, or Tactical Mid, can't remember which way around it is. I think it's Selvatica Tactical Mid GTX. Or it could be the other way around. Anyway, the Selvatica, it's a lightweight, waterproof, highly breathable, fantastic support, great control and stability, thanks in part to the Vibram Megagrip sole and Aku's brilliant Elica natural stride system, giving you that comfort and control through the whole gait. And it's best suited for lighter duties. I wouldn't want to carry, like a massive Bergen, 100-litre Bergen, wearing a pair of these. I'd want something with a bit more support and a bit more control underfoot. But for light and fast duties, where you're moving around quickly with a light pack, be the perfect boot. Or, for civvy use, if you just want a lightweight, comfortable boot for light walking, bit of approach, bit of scrambling maybe, something like this would be ideal. Okay, so that's it. Harry's going to pop a link up here to the product itself on our website. There'll also be a link on how to fit your footwear at home video. It's a really interesting video, useful information in there. And as usual, please add any comments or questions in the section below. It's always good to hear from you, good or bad, I don't mind. Thanks very much for watching. See you again soon, guys. Toodaloo.